Okay, so before diving into the basic design principles, I want to ask a question to you, ask a fundamental question to you, that what is design and what is the purpose of design? Like, this is my own habit that whenever I sit for designing, I ask myself this question, like, what is the purpose of this design? Is the purpose is to just make it look good, or I want to convey a message? I want the user, I want the viewer to feel in a certain way. So design is not just making it look attractive, but it's a way of communication. So I asked this question to myself, that for whom am I creating this? Who are my target audience? Whether I'm creating for students, whether I'm creating for office workers, and what is the main purpose? Whether is to drive more sales, whether is to whether is to educate someone, is to bring more engagement. So this is a very fundamental question you have to ask yourself. Make this as a habit to ask yourself, like, what is the purpose of my design? And then start to design. Let's see our first principle, and that is emphasis. Emphasis is about making the most important part of your design to stand out. Like, it's the first thing that people notice. So let's see how to create emphasis. So looking at these two examples, like, what grabs your attention first? The yellow duck, right? And this is how emphasis is created. You can create emphasis by making the element look bigger, brighter, and you can also change the color, like this example, and you can also use contrast. So let's see how emphasis is created. Okay, so this is a real life example, like this is a book cover. So look at this book cover. What's the first thing your eyes go to? Most likely it's the one red head among all the blue ones, and that is emphasis. And then your attention maybe goes to the title and then on the other information. So this is how emphasis is created. Emphasis can be created by using these three techniques, namely contrast, movement, and white space, and let's see them one by one. So what is contrast? Like, contrast is the difference that creates interest. Like, it's the difference between light and dark, big and small. So let's see some examples to understand how contrast is used. So I have this example. We have this book cover. So you can see how the black and white have created this contrast and make the poster engaging. On the other side, we have this bright red color to make the elements pop. So for example, if I change the red color, I'm using the canvas color edit feature to change the red color. So let me try to change its color to something like this. So is this looking good? Is this creating the vibe in this color? Even the blue color is looking good, but it depends on the brand which color they have to use. But if I use something like this color, this is not looking that good. So this is how contrast is being used. And then we have this white space, and it is used to make it less clutter and more focus. By the way, in this slide, I have this white space, if you can see. And white space, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't mean that the color white. It can be a blank spaces to grab viewers' attention, to make it declutter and more focused. A negative space is the empty space around elements. It keeps the design from looking messy and helps focus attention. And let's see how we can create white space. How it makes the text easier to read, create a clean and modern look, and helps important elements to stand out. So Google's homepage is also a very good example that how my attention goes to the search bar, and it's of clear focus. We have one more example for white space. On the left side, it looks more cluttered, and here it is well arranged, clean and modern look. And before moving on to the next one, I have this real life example. Like, I have this book, so you can see the white space over here, only the main heading, no elements is being used and nothing, just the main heading, little information, the name of the author, and that's it. So this is how white space is being used. So let's see our next topic is movement. So what actually is movement? Like, movement helps guide the viewer's eyes to a design. It makes sure they see the things in the right order. So let's see some example how movement is used. So here my attention goes to this text, and then this element grabs my attention to the speakers of the event, and then my attention goes on this information and then on the other information. So this is how here they have used this element to create a guide to the viewer's eye. So this is how it is created. We can create movement by using lines, shapes, arrows, and let's see some more examples. Looking at this poster has a wavy part making the viewer's eyes move in a flow from top to bottom. Like everything, this guitar element, the variation of the text, everything is so nicely done to grab the viewer's attention from top to bottom. And on the right hand side, we also this is also a very good example of the contrast and the white space and the movement as well. So first my attention goes to the jaws, and then my attention goes to the shark, and the shark takes my attention to the top to this person. So this creates a like sense of tension, a drama, a suspense, like what will happen to this person. So this is also a very good example. Next we have is repetition. Repetition simply means consistency, using the same font, using the same typeface, using the same color, using the same elements to create that brand identity. For example, we have this classic example for Google. You can see the same red, yellow, green and blue color is being used. Also, if you see closely, you can see the geometric shapes of this icon are being similar, are being consistent in every icon. Also, one more example is McDonald's. They uses the same red and yellow color. If you go to the Instagram, you can see the same color, same consistency throughout the post. And we have I also have some example of Instagram story, and you can see how this is being repeated to grab my attention to the bottom, to the brand name Bluesim Cosmetics. So this is how repetition is being used. And next we have is proportion. Proportion is simply getting the right size. Like proportion is about making sure the elements are of the right size compared to each other. So let's see some examples. So here I have an example of a real estate poster, music concert poster. How the proportion is being used well, like important elements are bigger to show importance, and here they have used the different sizes to create that visual hierarchy. The state text is biggest text to grab attention immediately. The offer 20% off is also large, making it a focal point. The poster, how the artist's name is bold and large, capturing attention immediately, and then the handwritten style is on the other side, grabs attention. Handwritten style is varied in proportion, creating a cool look. We have is balance. Balance simply means that distributing elements so the designs feel stable. It's just mean balanced. The colors, the elements, everything is balanced in the design. So let's see some example. On the left hand side, oh wow, so the gradient color, if you see, the gradient color is used to create that balance. Also there are 5 silhouettes, like everything is perfectly balanced. On the right hand side, the pineapple is positioned slightly off center, yet the text blocks at the top and the bottom have created a counterbalance in it. So the diagonal shapes, you can see the diagonal geometrical shapes throughout the design. It distributes the weight perfectly. So the large text, the summer party text at the bottom visually balances the large pineapple graphic. The smaller details, entry fee, like the venue and everything, it without overwhelming the layer, it just plays perfectly. There are 2 types of balance. One is symmetrical balance. Let's see some example. Symmetrical balance is like everything is well structured, everything is at the center, everything is perfectly aligned, and that is symmetrical. And that is symmetrical balance. You can see everything is centered, everything is perfectly structured. Then we have asymmetrical balance. They are a bit uneven placement, but still it feels balanced. Like if you see, the flower is on the off center, the window is off center, but still they look perfectly balanced. Next we have is alignment. Alignment keeps everything structured and easy to flow. Let's see how we can create alignment in our design, how we can use alignment in our design. On the left hand side, if you see, the elements are bit randomly placed. There is no grid followed and everything. And on the right hand side, they have used the place the box lined up neatly, and you can also use a grid or guide for better structure. So in Canva, we have this amazing feature named grids and structures. So on the top side, if you click on file and then we go on setting, and then there, if you enable this option, show rulers and guides. So if I enable this option, so on the left hand side you can see this grids and guides for your help. So if I drag this by clicking my mouse, I can drag this over here and I can place my element neatly and in a well structured way on the top, and from the top you can also bring it from the top. And this is how I can, arrange them properly and in a perfect order. So this was just a cool tip. Okay, let's get back to our topic. And then one more example of alignment. I think it's pretty clear. And then we have a visual hierarchy. Visual hierarchy, it's a design principle that guides the viewer's attention by arranging elements in order of importance, like where I want the viewer's attention first. So this is what hierarchy means. You can achieve this by changing the color, making the font size bigger. Let's see some examples. So this is a classic example, like you will read this first. So my attention goes over here. My attention goes over here, and then you will read this line, and then probably this, and then the paragraph, and then might at some point I will read this. So how perfect is the more, like you will read this first, is the most dominant text due to its large size, the bold weight, and the contrasting color, and then it captures our attention immediately. And then the next line is, of course, there is a variation of font size and color. So this is what visual hierarchy means. And we have rhythm. Rhythm is like a pattern, a flow that creates a sense of movement in a design. The elements are being repeated with slight variations. They use spacing, like the color of the element is changed. So let's see examples. So here you can see how the geometric shape triangle is being repeated multiple times. We have this main. So the triangles and abstract elements appear multiple times, creating a sense of continuity and balance. Down to the color theory, like colors play a very huge role in a design. It sets the moods, grab attention, and communicate messages without words. To help you better to understand how colors work, I have come to this site, canva.com colors. The link will be in the description. We have the color wheel, the foundation of the color theory. So if you go to color theory, you can see the different types of color combinations. So I'm not going into the the basic, like the primary, secondary, or tertiary colors. I'm not going into the basics, but this color wheel will help you to choose a color for your brand by using different combinations. Example, we have monochromatic. Monochromatic is being used with a single color but a different tint and shade. Then we have complementary colors that uses, of course, it's a combination of two opposite colors. There's triadic, tetradic that uses 4 colors. Everything is explained here. You can visit the site. On to the most important part, and that is color meaning, like what emotions do they derive. So you can search the color and you can see that what emotions that they derive. Like the red color, shows the energy, passion, and urgency. So if you have seen the brands like Coca-Cola, food brands like McDonald's, then there is Sting, which uses the red color to show passion and energy. Then we have blue color that Facebook uses to show trust, calm, and professionalism. Then we have yellow color to show happiness, warmth. Then we have green color to show nature, health, and growth. Okay, so I have a very practical tip for you to how to use colors in a design. You can use a 60-30-10 rule, like 60% is the main color, 30% is the secondary color, and 10% is the accent color. If you're working for your own brand, like a new brand, And if you want to choose the colors for your brand, you can just go to ChatGPT and write a prompt that I have this vision. I want to create a brand which sells this, which says the story and everything you have in your mind, and say to ChatGPT that uh, give me colors according to the 60, 30 and 10 rule, which colors